Hey guys, my name is Zack. Today we're taking a look at the first part of my garage conversion, taking a look here at the blank canvas. Now we do have a lot of things to talk about, but before we get into that, I did want to take you down a brief trip down memory lane. Now I've had a few different setups over the past few years. First one here is in our first apartment. It was a DTOF and a very small computer desk in the corner of a 10-foot living room, and I loved it. It was all I needed at the time, but as my collection grew, so did our needs for housing, and we moved into a house which had a 12-foot by 12-foot office, and I loved it. I think, to be honest, this was one of the best setups I've ever had. Plenty of space for what I needed at the time, and I even had a nice little chair in the corner of the room. We actually did stream here from time to time, actually in this space. Here's a look at the table, how that would be set up when we did stream. But this is a setup if you watched our show probably in the early 100s. This is the space that we were once in. Now, 2 years ago, we did buy this house. This is a photo from the real estate listing of the office that I'm in now. This one's a little bit smaller than my current, or than my previous setup, rather. The other one was 12 by 12. I believe this one was closer to 10 by 11. But it did have a nice little nook there for the desk, and it did also have a really nice closet for boxes and stuff like that. And doing a little bit of online SketchUp stuff, this is the layout that we settled on. So we have the desk there right next to the door. We have the garage shelves, the white cubes that are behind me, the Lego cabinet, which doesn't really get seen quite often, and my two DTOFs, which again don't really make it into the camera's field of view. But this is what all that stuff looks like. If you look at our channel, there's a collection tour video from a few years ago. And I think that video is going to give you a really good idea of sort of what I was working with, or what I am currently working with. This space, though, has been great. It is a bit cramped. You can see here there's basically toys and figures and statues wall to wall, literally. And if you look here, the old space is 10 by 11, or 110 square foot, excuse me. This new space is 12 by 22. There's also a little nook that's not pictured here that's going to be sort of like a reading area for my wife. But you can see we're able to keep a lot of the furniture. We're able to expand the size of some of these things and pick out where we want power. And speaking of which, this is our to-do list for the conversion. So we need to run electricity and outlets throughout the garage. Right now there's 2 outlets, one in the ceiling and one next to the door itself. So we'll need to add quite a bit more electricity. We do need to change the breaker box. Initially we were going to try to keep it, but it is much too small. And so we're going to change that breaker box. It also allows us to future-proof the build. We do also need to insulate the outside wall and the ceiling. We need to add drywall to the outside wall and the inside wall. We need to finish the water heater corner, add a mini split, add lights and switches, run wireless access point for internet, and then also paint. Now, here's a look sort of, again, day 0. This is perhaps just a few days before that first photo in the video was taken. And you can see here, it is somewhat finished in some areas. The ceiling is actually not too bad, but it does need a lot of work. And after a few days of work, we've already began running the wires. We've exposed the outer area of the box itself to make room for the larger box. We've marked all of our outlets, and here's that space that we'll need for that much larger box. You can see here this one is jam-packed. It's a very old General Electric circuit breaker box, and we'll replace this with a brand new one that we got from Home Depot. We also have begun, again, running that wire in places where there already is insulation. We just tucked it to the side. In other places, we ran it, I believe, before the insulation. And it's coming along pretty well. This is the first place that I've had where I've been able to pick where I want everything. And it is very freeing to be able to do that. It's a lot of pressure, and I don't know that I put them in the perfect spaces, but it is what it is, and we're very happy with it. Each wall will have 2 sets of 4 outlets, or rather 1 outlet with 4 plugs, and then several 2 outlets. The 4 plug outlets will mostly be for the 3D printers, which you see here, or the main collectibles streaming setup. So that'll be that. We did also get the drywall put in. on day 3 and 4. And you can see here we're continuing work on this area here. This is where the water heater is. It's behind this material. That'll all be torn out and sort of made a bit more elegant. We did go to Home Depot. We found some LED lighting. I ran the count on the lumens, and these should be enough light for this room. I don't really keep my collectibles light on that much, but you know, because all the shelves do have their own LEDs. But we'll be putting lights in that cutout in the ceiling there, right here where the existing bulb is, and then a third one for my wife in this corner here for her sort of little nook that she's going to have. These are all dimmable color select LEDs, so they should be able to provide the color that we need that fits the vibe that we're trying to set for this collectible space. We are continuing on with the drywall in this video here, almost done with the far side wall, which again had none of that insulation to begin with. At this point, we went ahead and covered all the stuff that's in the garage as we prepared for the panel swap and then the spackling and sort of mud process to blend all the drywall panels together. And if you know me, I've had a history of losing fish tanks to power outages, so we made sure to take care of that this time around with a little bubbler. And after a day, we have the new panel installed and working perfectly. Now, this is the last update for this video, but you can see here we have all the drywall pretty much placed. It's not yet blended together, but it looks very good. We also did go to Home Depot, picked out about 15 swatches, narrowed it down to 3, and most likely going with this middle one here. I think the other ones were too dark or too blue, but I am kind of tempted to try out that right color, but we're going to take a look at it. The water heater area is still a work in progress. We did tear out all the stuff that was covering it, and we are going to make that a little bit more elegant, but and that's what that wood is there on the right. You can see here everything is looking very good. We do have the new panel, which is now flush with the drywall that we had there. The entry is being reworked, and everything is looking really good. Those 2 light switches, they'll actually be replaced with dimmer switches, as the all the lights that we have in the room will be dimmable, which is pretty neat. And so we have that to look forward to. And yeah, I think next week, or next video rather, we're going to be confirming our paint color. We're going to be also confirming the textures that we want on the ceiling and the walls. In Texas, like, that's just kind of a thing that we do. I don't think we're going to go with popcorn ceilings, but we probably will have some skip trowel texture or something like that. Yeah, you can see here everything is looking really good. The outlets, they are flush with how they need to be. We have yet to get the lights installed, so I imagine next week that'll also be some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. And yeah, it's really coming along. I think if you look at where this garage started 2 weeks ago, even to where it's at now, I think it's pretty unrecognizable. And yeah, we can't wait to see how this continues to go. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and leave some thoughts, comments, suggestions, and we appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.